Hi everyone, Mrs. K here again. I hope you're all ready for chapter 3 from Dakota of the White Flats. Treacle lived on the other side of the White Flats. To get there, Dakota had to walk across a concrete square. In the middle of the square was a broken water fountain. Once it had been beautiful, full of water lilies and goldfish, but now it was piled high with rubbish and supermarket trolleys. Supermarket trolleys were the main feature of the White Flats. They were scattered everywhere, like the skeletons of long forgotten animals. As Dakota walked across the square, she caught sight of Medusa. Medusa was a tall, thin woman with long green hair who sometimes stood in the middle of the square and called, "Oscar, Oscar, I can't find it, Oscar." What it was she couldn't find, and who Oscar was, no one knew. Medusa also took a great interest in everyone's jewellery. If someone was getting engaged or married, then Medusa had to look at the ring. No one knew why this happened. It was just a tradition of the White Flats. Medusa's favourite colour was green. Apart from her green hair, she wore a green dress, green stockings, green shoes, green gloves, and a green silk scarf. Although her clothes were old and torn and either bought in junk shops or found in dustbins, Medusa acted as if she were a Hollywood movie star. She smoked her cigarettes in a long green cigarette holder, wore lots of makeup, and called all her neighbours darling. You can just see an image of Medusa just there. Wherever Medusa went, she pushed a rusty supermarket trolley in front of her. The trolley was piled high with blankets and cabbage leaves. In the trolley, or so it was said, was Medusa's baby monster. Dakota ran through the square to the opposite block of flats and knocked on Treacle's door. Treacle opened it. Treacle had short, spiky blonde hair and a face full of freckles, quite different from Dakota, with her spiky black hair and a face so pale it seemed to glow in the dark. There's Treacle. Dakota showed Treacle her pet silverfish. "Oh, it's marvellous," said Treacle. "It's about the size of a quarter of a cherry." It was a habit of Treacle's to measure everything in terms of either fruit or vegetables. Here are some size evaluations according to Treacle, or measurements in Treacleese, as Dakota called them. An ant is half a grape pip. A dog is 12 cauliflowers. A car is 1,197 melons. A flat is 3 billion potatoes. The White Flats are a zillion aubergines. And now, to add to that, Dakota's pet silverfish was a quarter of a cherry. Dakota was pleased to get its size in Treacleese. "That's a good size," said Dakota. "A very good size," agreed Treacle. "Now, what are you going to call it?" "I haven't thought of a name yet," said Dakota, "but I'm sure I'll think of one soon." "What does it eat?" asked Treacle. "I'm not sure," replied Dakota. "It lives in the bathroom, so perhaps it lives on toothpaste." "Let's find out," exclaimed Treacle. She ran to the bathroom, found the toothpaste, and gave it to Dakota. Dakota squeezed a blob of paste into the matchbox. Immediately, the silverfish crawled up and started to eat. "I told you," said Dakota triumphantly. "It smells of toothpaste now," said Treacle. "All minty." Dakota looked at Treacle and smiled. "That's what I'll call it," she said. "What?" asked Treacle. "Minty," said Dakota. Treacle's mother came into the room. "What are you two up to? More trouble?" she asked. Dakota and Treacle hid the matchbox. "Nothing," Treacle said, "just talking." "Are you having dinner with us, Dakota?" asked Treacle's mum. "Yes, please," said Dakota. "Well, don't go far away," said Treacle's mum, and went out of the room. Because Dakota's mum was in the cocoon on castors, Dakota spent most of her time at Treacle's, and Treacle's mum, whose name was Pat, cooked nearly all of Dakota's meals and did her laundry as well. It was on Pat's fruit and veg stall that both Dakota and Treacle worked every Saturday to get pocket money. While Pat was preparing dinner, Dakota said, "I want to find out something." Every time Dakota said this, Treacle knew that it was going to be the start of an adventure. "What do you want to find out?" asked Treacle. "I want to find out what Medusa keeps in her supermarket trolley," said Dakota. "If it really is her baby monster, then I want to know." "But how are you going to find out?" asked Treacle. "I have a plan," said Dakota. Treacle tingled all over. "Oh, what?" she asked eagerly. "What?" Look at these, Dakota said, and took the earrings that Henry had given her from her pocket. Where did you get those? Asked Treacle. Henry gave them to me, replied Dakota. Henry? Exclaimed Treacle, who knew how Henry tormented Dakota. Why? Because I threatened not to clear away the silverfish this morning. Is he still afraid of them? Petrified. He's such a big baby. I remember when he... Oh, quiet, Treacle, said Dakota. Now, do you want to hear my plan or not, you stupid toadflake? Of course I do. Then just park your lips for a while and listen, said Dakota. Now, during the week, I'll get my ears pierced and start wearing these earrings. You mention this fact to Medusa. Talk to her, exclaimed Treacle, who was secretly afraid of the tall, thin woman with long green hair. Do you want to find out what's in her supermarket trolley or not? Asked Dakota impatiently. Of course I do, said Treacle softly. Then shut up and do as you're told. Honestly, Treacle, I sometimes wonder why I'm friends with you at all. Oh, don't talk like that, said Treacle, upset. I'll do whatever you say. You know that. I should think so too, said Dakota. Now, listen. You tell old Medusa about my new earrings. Then she'll want to have a look at them, said Treacle. Exactly, but you'll have to make sure we time it right. I'll have my ears pierced on Thursday, after I've made Mum her evening dumpling. Then you'll have to tell Medusa on Friday, so she'll look at my earrings on Saturday. There they both are, plotting their plan. Why Saturday? Asked Treacle. So she'll come up to me when I'm working on the stall with you, explained Dakota. How does that help us? Asked Treacle. Oh, Treacle, really, I wish you had a brain. It's as obvious as the freckles on your face. While I show Medusa my earrings, you go to her supermarket trolley and rummage around in the cabbage leaves until you discover what's in there. Treacle took a deep breath and swallowed. She didn't like the sound of this plan at all. It seemed to her that she had to do all the work while Dakota did nothing. But she didn't say anything. Dakota would be annoyed if Treacle complained, and an angry Dakota was a terrible sight. Instead, Treacle said, Anything you say, Dakota. That's what I like to hear, Dakota said, and then her voice turned to a whisper. You know something, Treacle, old fruit? What? Asked Treacle. I hope it is a monster, said Dakota softly. Really, I do. And that's the end of chapter 3. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll follow up with chapter 4 next time.